There is a person in your life who has never once apologized and meant it. You've felt it, that hollow quality behind their words, like watching someone perform emotion rather than feel it. Psychologists estimate that up to 12% of corporate leadership positions are held by individuals with clinical psychopathic traits. Not monsters, not obvious villains. People who look exactly like everyone else, except they're operating by a completely different set of rules. Rules you were never told about. The terrifying part isn't that they exist. It's that they are extraordinarily good at making you feel safe around them. So the question is, do you actually know how to recognize one? Because by the time most people figure it out, the damage is already done. Welcome to TheMindShadow. This channel exists for one reason: to give you the psychological knowledge that most people spend their entire lives without. Today, we're going deep into the dark triad. 3 overlapping personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy that combine into something genuinely dangerous. Not dangerous in the movie villain sense. Dangerous in the quiet, systematic, invisible sense. By the end of this video, you'll have 7 concrete behavioral markers that reveal a dark triad individual before they reveal themselves. And at the end, there is a revelation that reframes everything. Something that makes this topic far more personal than you might expect. Stay with me. Sign 1. They never accept responsibility, but they're masterful at appearing like they do. This is subtler than you think. Most people imagine a narcissist as someone who screams and deflects, obviously, but the sophisticated dark triad individual has learned to mimic accountability. They'll say the words, "I'm sorry you felt that way. I could have handled that better." Listen carefully. Those phrases contain no actual admission. They redirect the emotional weight onto you while preserving their own self-image entirely. Robert Hare, the psychologist who developed the most widely used psychopathy checklist in the world, documented this pattern in hundreds of clinical cases. His subjects weren't confused or defensive when confronted. They were calm, eerily calm, and they produced apologies that sounded correct but contained nothing real. In practice, this looks like a colleague who takes credit seamlessly when a project succeeds, and who, when it fails, delivers a thoughtful-sounding analysis of everyone else's contribution to the problem, without naming themselves once. You walk away thinking they were reasonable. Later, you realize your name was the only one attached to the failure. The key behavioral marker here is consistency over time. One incident means little, but if you track back through your history with this person, you will find a pattern where consequence always lands on someone else. Always. Sign 2. They read people with an accuracy that feels almost supernatural. And sign 3. They probe you before they ever reveal anything about themselves. Here's the neuroscience underneath this. Research from the University of British Columbia found that individuals who score high in psychopathy show reduced activity in the amygdala, the brain's emotional processing center. What that means in practice is that they are not distracted by their own emotions while interacting with you. They are fully present, fully analytical. While you process the conversation emotionally, they are processing it strategically. They ask questions that feel like genuine curiosity. Where did you grow up? What does your family think of your career? What's the hardest thing you've been through? These feel like warmth, like someone who wants to know you. And they do want to know you, but not for the reason you assume. They are building a map. They are cataloging your values, your wounds, your fears, and your desires. And they will use that map later with precision. The third sign connects directly to this. They reveal almost nothing personal in return, or what they do reveal feels performed. Notice the asymmetry in your conversations. Notice who asks and who answers. If you've shared significantly more than they have, ask yourself why. It likely isn't shyness, it's architecture. They have structured the interaction so that information flows one direction, toward them. Sign 4. Their charm feels different in retrospect. In the moment, it's magnetic. Afterward, something feels slightly off. This is one of the most reliable experiential markers of a dark triad personality and one of the hardest to articulate. You leave the interaction feeling good, sometimes great. But when you try to recall the substance of what was said, it becomes strangely thin. Sign 5 builds on this. They triangulate. Constantly. Triangulation is the deliberate introduction of a third party to create competition, jealousy, or insecurity. They'll mention how impressed someone else was with their work. They'll casually reference another person's interest in them, romantic or professional. This isn't accidental conversation. It's a calculated destabilization of your sense of security in the relationship. It keeps you slightly off balance, and people who feel off balance tend to seek reassurance from the very source creating the imbalance. Sign 6 is perhaps the most actionable. Watch how they treat people who can do nothing for them. The waiter, the janitor, the intern who just started. Dark triad individuals are fundamentally transactional. They modulate their behavior based on perceived utility. With peers and superiors, they are often brilliant performers of respect and warmth. With those they consider beneath them, the mask slips. Not always dramatically. Sometimes it's just a flatness, an absence of basic human acknowledgement. Pay attention to that flatness. It tells you exactly who you're dealing with. Sign 7 is the one most people miss entirely, and it connects directly to the revelation at the end of this video. Sign 7, they make you feel uniquely understood. And here is the revelation. That feeling is the weapon. This is what I promised you at the start. The open loop closes here. The reason dark triad individuals are so difficult to detect is not because they hide their nature completely. It's because they offer you something real. That sense of being truly seen, of someone finally getting you, is one of the most powerful psychological needs a human being has. They identify it in you through signs 2 and 3. They activate it through signs 4 and 1. And by the time signs 5 and 6 appear, you're already invested. You are already explaining away the inconsistencies, because your brain has connected this person to the feeling of being understood, and it will protect that connection. This is not weakness. This is neurobiology. The same reward pathways that bond you to people you love are exactly what a dark triad personality learns to activate on demand. Knowing this doesn't make you immune, but it changes something important. It moves the detection point earlier. You now have 7 behavioral markers that operate before the emotional investment runs too deep. Use them. Not with paranoia, but with clarity. The goal is never to see everyone as a threat. The goal is to see clearly. If this gave you clarity, give it a like. It's the signal that tells me to keep going deeper. If you're new here, subscribe. Every week, this channel goes into the psychological territory most people never explore. The patterns hidden in human behavior. The mechanics behind influence, manipulation, and the darker side of the mind. There's a lot more coming. and you'll want to be here for it. I'll see you in the shadows.